You know, we've all signed our names 1,000 times, right? On a contract, a receipt, a birthday card. It's such a simple physical act of agreement. But what happens when that signature isn't ink on paper anymore, but just a click on a screen? How do we really know it's just as binding, just as secure? Well, today, we're unpacking Taiwan's new rulebook that's designed to answer exactly that.
And this is really the heart of the matter, isn't it? For digital banking to work, really work, we have to trust that our digital agreements are absolutely rock solid. So, Taiwan's financial regulators just put out this comprehensive set of rules to make sure that when you click sign at your bank, that little action is just as powerful and just as legally sound as putting an actual pen to paper.
So let's think of these new regulations as the digital handshake. A real handshake is all about agreement, about trust. And these rules, they create one consistent, super secure way for every single bank and customer to do that handshake online. It's all about setting a single standard so that everybody knows exactly what a secure digital signature means and how it's supposed to work. No guesswork.
Okay, so the official term you're going to see is electronic signature mechanism. I know, that sounds a little technical, but all it really means is the combination of the tech and the rules that make your e-signature legit. And what's really cool here is the level of security they're demanding. The rules say that banks have to use technology that meets standards from huge international bodies like NIST in the US or ISO. This means your signature is being protected by proven global best practices from the get-go.
But who even gets to make this digital handshake in the first place? It's not just a free-for-all. Especially for a company, the whole process of deciding who can sign on its behalf, well, that's the first critical link in the entire security chain.
And you can see there are these really clear layers of trust built right into the process. First, the bank has to verify the company itself. Yep, sometimes still using good old-fashioned official seals. Then the company formally appoints specific people as authorizers. Then those authorizers use their own secure e-signatures to designate the final signers. It's a really clear chain of command, where every single step is deliberate and, more importantly, recorded.
And check this out. It's a small detail, but it's so important and shows you how carefully they thought these rules through. An authorizer is not allowed to appoint themselves as a signer. It's a classic security move called separation of duties. Basically, it stops one person from having way too much control. It's another simple but really powerful layer of protection against things like internal fraud.
Okay, so now we've got an authorized signer. What happens next? Well, their e-signature isn't just a one-and-done thing. It has a whole life cycle, and these regulations cover every single part of it, from start to finish.
Just look at how security is baked into every single action here. To even register, you need a time-sensitive activation code plus a second factor, like a one-time password sent to your phone. When you actually sign a document, you need another secure method, like using your chip bank card or getting another OTP. And it doesn't stop there. Even changing or canceling your signature requires you to prove who you are all over again. The whole system is designed to secure every single step.
All right, we've talked a lot about the user, but what about the technology itself? Where does this digital handshake actually happen? The rules get very specific about the security of the software platform, whether it's an app or a website where you're making these signatures.
So banks basically have two choices here. They can build their own e-signature platform. If they do that, it has to meet the exact same tough cybersecurity standards as all other financial institutions in Taiwan. Or they can partner up with a specialized third-party company. But, and this is a big but, if they go that route, that third-party vendor is not off the hook. They have to prove their security with a whole list of globally recognized certifications.
And we're not just talking about any old rubber stamps. These are the gold standards for cybersecurity. Things like ISO 27001, which is all about managing information security, and other specific certifications for cloud security. The bottom line is pretty simple. Whether the platform is built by the bank or a partner, it has been independently audited and certified to be secure. Period.
Now we get to what might be the most important part of this whole thing, because these rules, they're not just some technical manual for banks. They are basically a bill of rights for you, the customer, making sure you are protected and totally in control of the entire process.
See, this is not a system that's just forced on you. It's a system that needs your permission. The rules give you clear rights. You have to explicitly agree to use e-signatures. You can still ask for paper copies, and you can opt out anytime you want. And maybe most importantly, banks are required to have a super clear process for handling disputes if something ever goes wrong. This whole setup puts you firmly in the driver's seat.
And if there was ever any question about what the real spirit of these regulations is, this one line from the official document just says it all. If a contract term is a little fuzzy, or if there's a disagreement, the interpretation has to be made in favor of you, the customer. I mean, that is such a powerful consumer-first principle written directly into the rulebook. It's a safety net.
So when you boil it all down, that's really what this is all about. These super detailed rules about authorization and security platforms and customer rights, they're not just red tape. They are the carefully laid bricks that build the foundation of trust. They are what allow a simple click to have the same weight, the same certainty as a signature in ink. They're what makes that digital handshake firm and reliable.
And that kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? We've now figured out how to secure the signature, which is a cornerstone of commerce. But as more and more of our financial identity and our assets become purely digital, what's the next handshake we need to define and secure? What comes after this in building a truly trustworthy digital world?